In this section, we're going to talk to Jennilynne Coley today about the endocannabinoid system. So in your research, tell me a little bit more about that. I've heard the term. I couldn't tell you what that means. What is it?
So basically every mammal has what's called an endocannabinoid system. Okay. And it was discovered by scientists and doctors in the 80s. So they've been doing some research on it for quite some time. And it was actually discovered to be our body's largest self-regulatory system. So it regulates things like mood, sleep, appetite, and a myriad of other things within the body. Yes.
It's like it sets our internal... I think of that with, your internal regulator that has to do with the brain systems here. So are there receptors? I mean, how does CBD oil get into the system?
So basically our body already produces cannabinoids, which are basically considered endocannabinoids because they're produced within the body. And within the brain, actually, from the metabolites of linoleic acid.
All right.
We just don't produce enough of what our body actually requires. So then it's actually great to supplement with phytocannabinoids, which would be found in plants. And the phytocannabinoids and the endocannabinoids actually both interact with our receptor sites that we have in the body. So what they have found is that we have CB1 and CB2 receptors. So the CB1 receptors are found mostly in our brain and central nervous system. The CB2 receptors are found for the most part in our gut, but really in our peripheral nervous system. So in our white blood cells, tonsils, spleen, they really help with our body's immune system response to disease and injury.
Oh, no wonder all the medical studies now. Central nervous system being everything to do with how I relate to the world and read it, and immune system. I mean, so I know we have to be a little careful, but have there been studies done on the use of CBD oils on autoimmune disease?
Yes. Again, there are over 23,000 independent scientific studies out there. So literally, you can just go out there and Google CBD and whatever ailment you can think of and look for the independent scientific research that's been done out there.
Fascinating. And probably the only reason I know I had not heard about it until here in Colorado. We, of course, ended up with the legalization of marijuana. And marijuana, everybody looked at it more as a drug. But we're not talking about marijuana here. We're talking about another member of the cannabis family, right? Hemp.
Correct. So hemp and marijuana are both, breeds of the cannabis sativa strain. So they are both cannabis plants. This plant has been demonized, and there's a lot of misinformation out there about exactly what it is. And CBD and THC, which is that psychoactive component, what gets you high, they're both compounds that are found in both plants, just in very different ratios. So the CBD that we're specifically, talking about here in terms of feeding our body's endocannabinoid system is derived from the industrial hemp plant that has less than 0.3 THC in it. I don't care how much you smoke it, you're not going to get high. You're not going to have that psychoactive effect. And in fact, there is something called the hippie's disappointment that is out there when they actually try.
When they try to smoke it?
Well, what they tried several years ago was, because generally in the marijuana plant, you're going to find higher concentrations of THC as opposed to CBD. So they tried increasing the concentration of CBD by manipulating the growth of the strain. And what they found was when they put that higher concentration of the CBD into the marijuana plant, it got rid of or just significantly diminished the psychoactive effect of the THC in the marijuana plant.
So they counterbalance one another.
Yes.
Fascinating.
So it created a problem for people who like that psychoactive effect. But if you're really looking for more of just the health benefit of feeding your endocannabinoid system without, getting high, then extracting the CBD from the industrial hemp plant would be the way that I have discovered to go.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for explaining that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.